Quand je parle de la prononciation en France, j'entends souvent les mêmes remarques. Non mais c'est bon, tout le monde me comprend. La prononciation, ça change pas grand-chose. Ah non mais l'accent, je vais le travailler quand je serai fluente. Et l'accent français, c'est sexy, donc c'est pas grave. En gros, ce que vous me dites, c'est ça.
Oh, ça va. Ça va.
Non, ça va pas. Dans cette vidéo, je vous donne 5 raisons pour lesquelles vous devriez travailler votre prononciation dès maintenant. En fin de vidéo, je vous donnerai également quelques conseils sur ce qu'il ne faut pas faire. Alors, activez les sous-titres si besoin, parce qu'ici, pour apprendre l'anglais, on parle anglais et let's start. So the first reason is that improving your pronunciation will ultimately improve your communication. The reason why we learn languages in the first place is to speak to others. And improving your pronunciation will always improve the intelligibility of your message and make sure that it is less likely for you to be misunderstood. You could have a grammatically perfect sentence in your head, but if you say it with less than perfect pronunciation or intonation, you might be misunderstood or maybe just a little bit more difficult to understand. And I'm also going to group intonation and sentence intonation into this idea of pronunciation. To give you an idea of how this could cause some intelligibility problems, let me share an example with you. Many years ago, I was listening to a podcast for French learners, and an English woman had called in. It sounded something like, "Bonjour, j'ai une question pour vous." And she sounded very friendly, and it really made me smile, but it was a little bit more difficult to follow what she was saying. This is because she was using English intonation patterns in French. Reason number 2 is that working on your pronunciation will help you to improve your comprehension skills as well. And this is because the very first step of improving your pronunciation is improving your ability to recognize the key sounds of a language. Before we can even produce those sounds, we need to recognize them, especially maybe the tiny differences between very similar sounds. And this will really help you to understand much more of what people are saying to you. For example, if you're speaking with somebody and they say a word completely differently to how you would pronounce the word, you might have no idea what they are saying. And this can especially be the case in English if maybe you've only ever read the word, but you've never heard it pronounced correctly. For example, if someone were to use this word with you in a conversation, you might automatically think it's pronounced as yacht or maybe yacht using English phonetics, but the word is in fact yacht. And if someone were to say yacht to you in a fast conversation, you might be a little bit lost. And I think this is one of the reasons why many learners have trouble following TV series or films, because there might be some unexpected pronunciations that come up. Number 3 is that improving your pronunciation will allow you to have much more authentic interactions with native and also high-level English speakers. And this is because your perceived level will be higher. Let me show you what I mean by this. Si je vous parle comme ça, en français, vous allez probablement avoir l'impression que mon niveau est pas mal et que vous êtes capable de me parler d'une manière plus ou moins naturelle. Alors que, si je vous parlais plutôt comme ça va vous donner peut-être l'impression que mon niveau n'est pas si élevé que dans l'autre exemple, et peut-être que vous allez instinctivement baisser votre niveau de français avec moi. But actually, in these 2 examples, I haven't changed. My level of French hasn't changed. My comprehension level, my vocabulary, my grammar hasn't changed. The only thing that has changed is my pronunciation and perhaps the way that you interact with me because you perceive my level to be lower. And that means that I'm missing out on having a more natural and authentic interaction with you. Having more authentic interactions in English leads me to my 4th point, which is that when people perceive your level correctly, and you can have more authentic interactions, this will help you to improve and speak fluently more quickly. And for this point, I want to reference a very well-known linguistic theory, originally proposed by the famous linguist Stephen Krashen around the 70s, 80s. I won't go into too much detail, but part of this theory suggests that the most important thing for language acquisition is input, not speaking or output. According to this theory, speaking is useful, but only because the more you speak, the more people will speak to you, the more input you'll receive, and the faster you will learn. Now, to be effective at actually improving your language level, the input you receive should be just above your current level. This means that you're capable of understanding it, but it's not too difficult. Now, if your language level is around here, but maybe your pronunciation doesn't reflect this, and people talking to you might simplify their language a little bit and have a conversation around this level. That means that you are missing so many great opportunities to have a conversation up here, which will little by little help you to keep improving your level. It would be such a shame to spend so much time and effort, even money, improving your language skills, only to not fully enjoy the benefits of all of your hard work. The fifth and final reason is all about confidence. If I had $1 for every time I had heard somebody say, "Yes, I speak English, but my accent is very bad," I can see that pronunciation is something that has a real impact on so many people's confidence and even their willingness to engage in an English conversation. But pronunciation is really something that you have a good amount of control over. And it's not even a purely mental skill like learning grammar rules, memorizing vocabulary. It is a physical skill. Once you have trained your ear, it's all about training your mouth to make the right sounds. But like everything, it won't just happen by chance. It is something that you need to make an effort to improve. I genuinely believe that everyone is capable of improving their pronunciation with a little work. So those were my 5 reasons. While I believe focusing on your pronunciation is very important, here are 3 things you definitely should not do. Don't let the fear of having less than perfect pronunciation stop you from speaking. As I mentioned before, the more you speak, the more people will speak to you, the more opportunities you'll have to listen and respond and improve your language skills. Secondly, don't be a perfectionist. Perfect is the enemy of good. On a scale of 0 to 100, 100 being a native English speaker, I do not recommend you aim to reach 100%. If you want to do that, good for you, as long as you realize that will take a lot of time and work. What I recommend is that you aim for about 80. And I said aim, right? You don't need to be at 80 before you feel comfortable speaking. That should be your ultimate goal. And finally, don't be ashamed of what makes you you. I am not suggesting that you should try to not sound French at all. I would not want to de-Frenchify you. As they say, a foreign accent is a sign of bravery. It means that you are willing to step outside of your comfort zone and speak a foreign language. And that is an important part of your identity. However, we do need to find a nice balance between intelligibility and identity. Don't drive yourself insane trying to be someone that you're not. Be yourself, but be your best self. I hope I've convinced you that pronunciation is something worth working on. I am planning to make many videos on pronunciation, so if there's a topic that you would like me to talk about, let me know in the comments. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss those videos, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!